Coming to you from dreary Portland, Oregon.
What the fuck?
Shut up, lady. Fucking up the audio.
Your hosts, Caity, Cassidy, and Aaron Bratcher have some hot takes on film, cinema, and the movies. That's all the same thing. It's the Ask Backwards podcast. You idiot. You moron. You stupid bitch.
What are we talking about today, Caitlin?
All right. Tried to think of a clever name, but it's not there for me, so everyone just pretend I said something clever, I guess. We have our top 10 personal favorite movies right now.
Yeah, and that's for whatever reason. So it's just like the 10 movies that are the most important or impactful to you right now. The ones you're thinking about the most or, for whatever reason. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah, we want to do rifle through or want to go one for one?
One for one.
All right. These are not in order.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get that far into it. But I think if I were to put them in order, number one would be, or it'd be closer to number one, is Honey Boy.
Yeah, that was almost on my list.
Oh, it didn't make it? Didn't make it on there?
Didn't make it on there.
Yeah, after I watched that a couple weeks ago for the Shia LaBeouf podcast, I've just been thinking about it so much. It's so good. No,
I think I said it on some other episode. We were talking about the actors episode. I had said that Shia LaBeouf, that movie, I related to in a big way. So that movie meant a lot to me. But I chose filmmaking reasons for the most of my.
Okay, so you're having more technical.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we have totally different. I'm interested to see then how our lists are.
And where I'm at right now, no movies are really affecting me emotionally lately. So I couldn't pick it based off that.
Yeah.
Where normally it was wow, something like Honey Boy.
Yeah, it would speak to you.
That deeply affected me. That's. So I'm not really doing that. So mine's mostly technical or something that interested me. So.
Okay, what do you have? What's one of yours?
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer, you son of a bitch. Dude, Sorcerer? All right, tell me why.
William Friedkin, the director, I just find him, Jesus.
I heard that, that was a big screech.
I find the movie just so interesting. I love the way it was structured. I love the fact it was just so new, and
for its time.
Not even for its time. Even now, people don't. Movies are so formulaic now.
That certainly isn't formulaic. Yeah.
So,
but I guess that is something you could appreciate in itself.
Yeah. So I just found it really artful, and I loved the storytelling, and then those tension sequences and those action sequences are fucking awesome. And so that movie is a technical achievement, and I think an epic in the truest nature of movies and cinema. So. Sorcerer for sure.
Okay. I were to make a list
not for everyone, obviously, but
yeah, if I were to make a list of top 10 movies least important to me, I think I would go ahead and put Sorcerer on there. I don't know, bro, that movie just pissed me off.
Not for everyone.
Pissed me off, not for me.
There's not movies for everyone.
No, yeah, for sure.
Me, last night or the night before, me and Jelly watched. We watched Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh yeah, you guys did watch that.
You would hate that, but that's one of the most famous movies ever, and I think it's one of the greatest movies ever. So I
was just talking to someone the other day saying for some of the more classic genre-defining movies that I haven't seen, so Good, Bad, and the Ugly, for example, or I haven't seen Star Wars. That always gets people. I'm not super into sci-fi, but just because I haven't seen them doesn't mean I wouldn't be interested in watching them because of their place in cinema. Just to see, this is where a lot of stuff comes from, even if it's not exactly my vibe. So, yeah, I guess I could appreciate the fact that Sorcerer is such a totally unique structure for storytelling. It just really was not my vibe.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
All right. I'm on I gotta put little marks next to which ones I say because they're not in order. I'm on a Jonah Hill kick like crazy. Still gotta watch mid-90s, though.
Yeah,
so don't call me out on that.
I haven't seen that either.
But I think War Dogs right now, and since I've seen it, I saw it a long time ago. Have you seen War Dogs?
Yeah.
I liked how it was edited. I thought it was cool. I love Jonah Hill. He's like such a crazy little prick in that movie. Like, he's awesome.
No, Jonah Hill's great, and I thought the performances were great. I just remember being unimpressed with that movie.
What?
Like,
you didn't like the editing? It was very Michael Bay feel. I felt like
that's fine.
that's your shit.
I think because that's what visually I like, but that doesn't mean storytelling wise. That's what I want everything to be. And I didn't come away with that story remembering really anything of note of the way it was told or the way it was executed.
That's funny. I remember it very well for those reasons. I thought it was a weird story. It was like young people, like our age-ish, and they like went and cashed out on basically America being like a weaponized force.
I remember scenes in it and stuff that were cool or stood out, but I don't know. It didn't blow me away, and that came out kind of the same time Wolf of Wall Street, where you see,
and those were the same vibe.
And you see Wolf of Wall Street is a cool way of telling that story that done better. So that sticks out in my mind far more than something like that.
Yeah, they were the same vibe. They did do it different. I think Jonah Hill being in both of them even accentuates them being sort of the same sort of. I don't even know how to describe that. Same energy, same cinematic appeal.
Yeah,
I don't know how the fuck to describe it. They're like the same, though. Same feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I don't know. That movie, it just didn't do anything that really...
Didn't shake you.
Yeah, and did Todd Phillips direct that?
I don't know. I don't know who directed it.
I'll have to look that up. But, okay.
What about you? What's next?
The Ninth Configuration.
Okay. Oh, we were just talking about that before we started.
Yeah, so it... that is a movie that affected me in a personal way or like an emotional way, you know.
All right, what's up with it? I don't really know what that movie is about.
It's about there's a castle out here somewhere in the Northwest, and during Vietnam, they were like putting people like crazy soldiers there, and for like psychology to like test what this thing was. They were trying to figure out what PTSD was, but they didn't know back then. So everybody's there, and this new like colonel comes in, and he's a psychiatrist. And so he's trying to figure everything out, but like it's this whole thing about who is crazy, who's acting crazy, and it's the patients. Like the movie's more of a comedy than a drama in a lot of ways, but it is very much a drama, and it turns very drama. It's the same guy who wrote The Exorcist and The Exorcist 3.
Okay.
So like the dialogue's just the funniest. It's like one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, but at the same time, it's like so emotionally weighty and what they're talking about. And so there's this astronaut, and he's actually the character is in The Exorcist. He's when Reagan comes down the stairs and pees on the carpet, she's talking to this guy playing the piano. She's like, "You're gonna die up there," and he's an astronaut. Same character. So,
okay.
On his space launch after he met Reagan in The Exorcist, he like bugged out and escaped the he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
He freaked the fuck out. So. And so the whole movie's about him, like, questioning God, basically. Like, why is there a God? And so this
Cosmic Wonders. I like those kind of movies.
This Colonel Kane character has to, he's trying to show him there is a God, So it's just this arguing of two people, And it's done very eloquently and wittily and funny, and the blocking's awesome, and it's beautiful. It's one of the best. I remember after I watched it, because I kind of stumbled upon it. I saw William Peter Blatty, Ninth Configuration. And I was like, okay, well, I like him because I like Exorcists and Exorcist 3. Like those are Exorcist, one of my favorite movies. Not on the list, but Exorcist is forever.
One of your all-time
forever
favorites.
one of my favorite movies. So, Shit, what was I on? Oh, yeah, so so I saw that and just kind of stumbled on the movie, and I put it on, and it starts with this, like, John Denver song, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's all this footage of, the mountains out here, and just trees, and
so you're immediately in, obviously, you being you.
this castle, and it's raining, and I'm just like, okay, what the hell's going on here? But then it starts to get into this weird moon imagery and all this stuff, and, like the moon rising, and all this, like, astronaut image. And, no, I'm good. So, yeah, I was just, instantly, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I went in knowing nothing, and, yeah, it's just really good movie. And there's some twists and turns and stuff in there about, like, who people really are, and it's fucking wild, and it really gets into, one, psychology, but it also, always this bottle thing. Not only gets into psychology, but it gets into, the big question, why?
Yeah.
And
what's this called? What is it?
The Ninth Figure. We're going to watch it because we're going to do an episode on it next week.
That's okay.
So, yeah, it's just, after I watched it, I was like, I think that's one of the most important films I've ever seen. I think I made a post like right after I watched it, where I put up the poster and was like,
moved to get to social media. You guys got to go fucking check this out, dude, right now.
Yeah, so I just was dumbfounded by it, and it's one of my favorite movies.
I'm excited to see it.
I went and bought like a $200 original marquee poster.
Oh, really?
Like last one in existence, as far as I can tell. So. But I have to get a 30 by 40 frame, which is such a hard size to find.
What the fuck, dude? Why are frames so expensive?
Frames out here are like $200. I didn't know frames were so expensive. Jesus.
Yeah. This was by far, people listening, not watching, we have on set a copper pipe frame. Cost what, like $9 to $10 to like saw these pipes apart.
It took me like 10 minutes to make that.
Yeah, just a hacksaw. Ba-boom. Dude, let's ditch this business. Let's make frames. We're out.
We'll be framers. We'll call it basic framing.
Bro, and we're back in the movies.
We did it. And then we'll make the movie basic framing.
All right, so your ninth configuration. I kind of do wish I put these in order, because now my mind wants them in order.
I just went off how I remembered as I thought of them. Okay. I'm not pitting anything against anything.
No, mine are also different. Or not so different. Like, I kind of like the same artsy. If you want this, just grab it. No. Same artsy movies. I guess the next one I'll talk about, Sorry to Bother You, with Lakeith Stanfield.
I need to see that.
Oh, dude, so good. You'll love the lighting and the editing, first of all, is so intense and cool and neon and artsy and poppy. And the editing is quick and pulls you in and almost has, like Michael Bay meets Tarantino, like those cut in, cut over, like quick sequence, and then Lakeith Stanfield, he's like the main dude in it, like he's like a telemarketer or whatever.
It's probably very Edgar Wright, is what you were describing. You're like Tarantino meets Michael Bay.
Is that who that is?
If you watch like Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz, it's all this like.
yeah, that's exactly that. And so, Lakeith Stanfield's awesome in it, dude. And Gled from The Walking Dead is in it. Cool. I like him. He's cool. And it talks about some, like, real shit. Like, he's the telemarketer or whatever. But it sort of starts talking about, like, as society, like, what are we working for? And how we're all sort of, like, slaves to capitalism. Not to sound like the, like, fuck the capitalist agenda guy. But it's talking about, how that is sort of what all of our lives revolve around. How people have to really go into almost being like slaves to it, and in this movie sign over their lives to like work at this like labor camp, and they get a place to sleep and eat, and it's pitched as like this positive thing, but really you're just signing up to be a slave for labor. And so it talks about that really, and like selling out, and it's just dope. Lakeith Stanfield's cool. I love that guy. He's in Uncut Gems, which is another a whole.
Did you know?
Oh man, I'm a clown. Okay. I'm such a clown. That's on here. It'll be on here.
Okay.
I need to make revisions, but yeah, Lakeith Stanfield's cool. So that's Sorry to Bother You for sure on the list.
I really need to watch.
It's on Hulu right now.
I'm a big proponent of physical media.
I know you are. I know. I kind of wish I was too though, because when it's hard to find shit like Kevin Smith's Red State. And they take it off streaming. Exactly, you have a Blu-ray, so There's definitely value in that.
Oh, you have a Blu-ray player now.
I do.
If you ever take it out of your trunk.
It's in my room now.
Oh!
Yeah, it's like upstairs.
Cool.
So what's your next one?
Apocalypse Now.
Okay, I haven't seen that actually. Yeah, I suck for that one.
You would hate it.
Would I?
I don't
Is it a big,
know.
long?
I don't know. Well, it depends on the version you watch. There's a 2.5 hour version, and then there's a 4 hour version.
Why? I think that's a whole other movie. How could you say you could take a 2.5 hour version instead?
Because of what the movie is. So, I actually just wrote an essay on it. So, there's this novel called In the Heart of Darkness, and I don't know too much about it, but it's about like people on this jungle journey down the Amazon River or something like that, and they just slowly go insane. So this movie is from Francis Ford Coppola, who did The Godfather, and Francis Ford Coppola. So yes, it comes from him, and he decided to do an adaptation of that novel, and it's now about Vietnam.
Okay,
And
that's pretty cool.
so this mercenary played by Martin Sheen he's like put on a mission to he's in the army though, but he's put on this mission to go assassinate a colonel who basically took his like unit out in the jungles of Vietnam and like basically like went crazy, and they just massacred everybody, and they've become like this little religion out there.
Okay.
And like they all went crazy or something. And so
This is what? Apocalypse Now?
Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
So he has to take a jungle boat down this fucking river to go murder this guy who went insane. And over the course of the story, the character Martin Sheen plays is already pretty fucking disturbed. You know, we see he's got this big like crying scene, you know, where he just goes insane and punches a mirror. Like it's an Oscar thing, and he's really bleeding, and they just got him pissed drunk, and he just went off and just, you know.
Nice, organic.
Went insane, and they filmed it. I actually made an actor do that on Go Down in Yesteryear. Same thing.
Same vibe.
Because, well, dude, our movie we wrote, Ab Reaction, and the movie I just directed, Showdown in Yesteryear. Apocalypse Now was like it is so interesting to me right now. Like I've just been transfixed with the making of it, because there's a documentary behind it. There's a novel, you know, there's all this stuff behind the scenes. It's so well documented because his wife, Francis Ford Coppola's wife, can't think of her name. It was like Eleanor or something like that. She basically filmed the whole thing behind the scenes and would interview him daily. And
that's pretty cool. That's very cool.
So it was documented, but the director slowly went insane too. And like, so the director came out and he said like, it was just like, he says, he was like, what was it like shooting in the Philippines? He was like, well, we were overfunded. We had too much money, too little experience, like too much blah, blah, blah. And he says this whole thing, he's like, we slowly went insane. It was kind of like Vietnam. And so like, yeah, it's like the most well documented behind the scenes ever.
That's really cool.
And the director slowly went crazy in the movies. So the 4 hour version is, you could watch the 2 hour version, or you can watch the 4 hour version, which is the whole trip down the river. You see everything, because they come past, you know, they see all this crazy shit, you know, as they go down the river, and like these giant war scenes, and you're just kind of going through what would be another movie, or, you know, like.
That's what I'm saying. How could you even really say you've seen it if you haven't seen the 4 hour version? Because that's a whole entire another movie.
Well, no, I mean, you can get the gist of it watching that. I remember I watched the movie probably when I was like 8 years old the first time. The cover is really cool. The poster of it's fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. So, like, I remember just being transfixed by the cover. And so I rented it and watched it as a kid. And it was I just remember thinking it was, like, really cool because of the war stuff that I was seeing, but I just think it was boring. I was, like, playing. You know, I didn't understand what I was watching. But I thought there was a lot of really cool stuff, and I liked how it looked at that age. And I liked the ending with Marlon Brando, because I remember liking his monologue even back then. But, like, watching it now, I rewatched it while I was in the Army, and I watched, like, the 4 hour version, and I was just like, But, like, yeah, the 2-hour version sums it up. You get the point, you know, and it shows you enough crazy shit along the way that you get it. But, you know, the 4-hour version is it's a totally different thing. Not for everyone.
Advisory, not for everyone.
But
yeah, that makes sense.
No, yeah, Apocalypse Now has been hugely... It's so important to me, you know, or at least on the last 2 movies, or the movie we just wrote and the movie I just made.
Mm-hmm. Influential.
Yeah, it was hugely influential.
That's cool.
And
That's very cool.
You see that a lot in Ab Reaction with, you know, some of our, like, apocalyptic imagery and just...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you see a lot of that. And then also... you know, yesteryear, there's just a lot of emotional... I did some weird shit. It probably doesn't fit in the movie, but it's just like, oh, you like this goofy Western time travel movie? Like, here's some fucking...
Here's some cosmic shit. Dude.
Yeah.
Here it fucking is.
What is life? What is death? What? So, yeah. You know, cool.
That's dope. All right. Okay, next. Let's see. What do I want to talk about? Okay, I think I'm going to replace... I had Social Network on here. I really like that. Worth mentioning. Especially, like... Can't stress enough. These are my top 10 right now.
Yeah, right now.
Because then we're talking about these older movies, and I'm remembering older ones, and I'm like, fuck, dude, yeah, like, there's some... But no, I'm trying...
No, it's right now.
Right now.
Like Social Network.
But no, I'm replacing that.
Okay, so you were going to...
So, yeah, I'm replacing Social Network with Uncut Gems. Because that movie was fucking crazy,
and
dude.
it's more important to you right now.
Yeah,
Social
right
Network,
now.
in my opinion, is a better film if we had to rate them.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
right now, I'm hyped on Uncut Gems.
Is way more interesting.
I'm hyped on The Stone.
Yeah.
And so...
You truly are.
No, that movie was crazy. Like, something I really liked about that and Good Time, which, you know, obviously was both the same people making it, is that there was never more than just... There was never less than 2 things going on at a time. Like, you don't get a moment of just one conversation. Like, it's a conversation, the phone ringing.
It is. That movie is so anxiety-inducing, dude.
And I love it because it, like, takes me on a journey out of my own anxious journey and on to somebody else's. And both of them, honestly, Good Time and Uncut Gems.
It is so stressful.
It's so good, though. And Adam Sandler was... so good in it. I know. Like, and then I find out they're fucking related, dude, and I'm like, what is this, man? So, I liked it. I thought it was funny and dramatic, and then the end, dude, I thought I was gonna throw up. I thought I was gonna fucking puke. For some reason.
Oh, stressful or what?
Well, how it ended. I was rooting for Adam Sandler, and then it's been out for long enough to do a spoiler, or what do you think?
I haven't really been... getting into the ending of anything.
Okay, I don't want to ruin it because the ending was crazy, but I was taken for a fucking ride, dude. I thought I was going to throw up. And I think I FaceTimed you. I was like, I watched Uncut Gems. And
Yeah,
like, okay.
Calm down.
And so that was like, what the fuck? And honestly, kind of same with Good Time. That's so worth mentioning with Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is for sure on there.
Anything more you want to say about it?
I don't know, bro. I watched that shit like 3 times in a week. Like, I watched it once with Minnie, came home, put it on in the background, and then watched it fully like another time, like all within a week. And then I tried to put it on the other day when you were here, and you were like, turn this off. Like, this is stressful.
Yeah. I saw it in theaters when it came out, and I think that was like one of the last 2 movies I saw. It was like that and Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, man, I haven't seen that. I have to.
Or something.
The Hunt was cool.
Yeah.
The Hunt was cool.
I have Drive.
That's on mine, too.
All right, so let's knock Drive out then.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there to say about Drive? It, in my opinion, is a perfect movie, and I hate watching it because it makes me not want to watch other movies.
I just watched Drive 2 nights ago, again, for the millionth time, and, God, dude, it's just so intense. Like, you were just in there, and, like, I have watched it by myself before, and I always feel like watching movies with other people, you get like a different experience, because when people do something embarrassing, it's more of a cringe when you're with somebody else, and so you kind of like realize different things about characters. And so I'm watching it the other night with a buddy of mine, and I was so much more cringed out by Ryan Gosling than I remember being. He's a little creepy, and it made me feel like it was for sure in the same universe as Nightcrawler, because he had that like weird, like kind of boundary pushing, not socially acceptable energy with this girl, which was of course meant to be romantic, but if you look at it, there is definitely some stuff that it was just like, what are you doing, bro? What you think?
I love it.
It becomes nice once she's in on it, but his lurking ways prior to, he was pushing the limits. You don't think he was a lurker?
I don't know. I think it's so cute.
Cute. Yeah, I mean, it ends cute. I mean, no,
it does not end cute. It's tragic.
It gets cute and it ends tragic. My skewed perception of cute.
Yeah. I remember watching that movie. I saw that in theaters probably when I was like 14 years old or whatever. And back then I didn't understand like art films or anything. And this Drive is the perfect middle ground between art film and, normal digestible movie. And we've seen this director, we were talking about this earlier, like we've seen this director go too far into art film.
With Bronson, for sure, that was...
Place Beyond the Pines or whatever.
Oh yeah, and Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah, so those, they're a little too far into art film. Where like this movie's, I don't know, it's literally perfect.
Yeah, it's great. It's aesthetic. The cast members are all also aesthetic. Like everyone in that movie is like super attractive if you really look at them. And even if you don't really look at them, they're just... And the dude that is in Ex Machina is in it, and I didn't know that.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, and he's cool. I like him. It's weird to see him not like the beefed up billionaire dude, because I've only ever seen him in Ex Machina, which is a dope movie.
Jesus. He's
in the dog sneeze. Bless you, Mac.
Oh, another one.
Thank you.
Maybe stop huffing dust bunnies, bro. He's in Star Wars, but you wouldn't know.
I haven't seen Star Wars, as I earlier confessed.
I have... Oh, wait, no, it's you. Because that was mine. That was Drive.
Well, I guess a good segue from Drive is Nightcrawler. And I just saw that. I know it's been out for a minute, obviously, but I just saw that for the first time a few months ago. And that movie was so cool and fucking weird. And Jake Gyllenhaal is such a creepy little weirdo monster man. And I feel like we get to go on this whole journey with seeing him like manipulate.
Okay.
Puppy shake. We get to see him really manipulating all of the other characters. But something about the way they did it, he's so not likable. Like, I'm so not rooting for him, but we go with him.
I kind of am.
You're rooting for him?
Kind of.
Oh my god. I think he is such a cluck, dude. Like, that guy is such a clown.
I might also be crazy, so
said, I have issues.
I empathize with them.
Yeah, like a Drive, Nightcrawler. I see the vibe. I see exactly what's going on, psycho. But, no, I thought that was a really cool movie. And, done artsy, but I kind of would have liked to see a little more artsiness, like how Drive is. At least, I don't know. I just like movies like that.
Drive has style, or like, Nightcrawler does as well, but it's not like, Drive is cool.
Yeah, Drive is poppy and like an aesthetic. Yeah. And Nightcrawler, it's dope and it looks good, but I want the aesthetic. I feel like it's almost there, and in my mind,
like Drive has like when the music comes in, like the music's so cool, or like when that like really pretty like opera, or I don't even know how to describe it. Like that song comes on when he has that face on and he like comes to the window. It's all slow mo, like kills that guy in the ocean and everything. Like,
very cool. No, it's super music driven, and I really like that about his movies, because even Bronson was like that too. And Bronson, the director of Drive, wrote that and directed it, and it was very artsy. Dude, sorry guys, my dog's so mischievous. But yeah, Bronson was super artsy, and every shot could have been a photograph. Like, it was composed beautifully, but it was pushed so metaphorically that it lost touch with reality in my mind and kind of lost my investment in it.
Drive is perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. And Nightcrawler is in that universe. Do you think it could be in the same universe?
I mean, sure. I mean, they look, there's a certain LA vibe about it.
Yeah, LA creepiness.
I don't know. Drive is so pretty and romantic. And,
Nightcrawler's in the not as well lit side of LA.
Yeah. Nightcrawler's a little greasier and
it is greasier. That's
creepier.
The perfect word to describe. Oh yeah, it's so
so creepy
and greasy.
Where Drive is kind of like a fairy tale.
My number one, my biggest takeaway, favorite moment in Nightcrawler, to throw all of its cinema and dialogue in the trash. My favorite part is when he grabs that guy. Or no, when he grabs the guy, he looks at that guy and tells him, I
feel like grabbing you by your ears and screaming in your face.
I'm not fucking interested. Like, and he was so calm and he's such a psycho. And I'm like, if I don't start telling my enemies I want to grab them by the ears, so, yeah, Nightcrawler's on there.
Yeah, Nightcrawler's great.
What's your next one?
Once Upon a Time in the West.
Okay.
Western from Sergio Leone, came out in 1967, sorry.
Yes, your classic modern day favorites.
This is what
1967.
These are what are important to me right now,
Okay.
Every shot of that movie, it's like a slowed down Michael Bay movie, because every shot is like the most beautiful cinematic thing you have ever seen, but unlike a Michael Bay movie, it's slow enough that I can see it.
Okay.
And
enjoy the shot.
Yeah, and it's just wow. And it's just this really epic, awesome Western story with, I don't know. It's got these cool characters where, you don't know, if they're good or bad, but, you really like them, and they're just so mysterious, and, they have a payoff in a certain way. It's a beautiful, I don't know, it's just pure cinema, and it's just pure,
pure cinema, pure Western, pure gold.
It's fucking amazing, and it's long as hell. It's 3 hours long, and it's slow, but it's just, you don't care, because everybody's so interesting, and there's such a mystery going on, even though at a point, why what's going on is going on.
You just spend time with the characters.
You still don't know everything about the characters.
That's cool.
I know what's going on now in the plot, but, I don't know why these people care. Mm-hmm. And then, so it's just so interesting and beautiful. And, yeah, man.
What is it called? Once Upon a Time in the West?
Yeah.
Okay. Dope.
And the score is, so cool.
Worth mentioning, for sure.
It should, it as its own thing, it's as far as music goes, it's, it's just, as high up classic-wise as movies go in scores.
That's cool. All right. Okay. Yeah. To follow that 1967 classic. I guess Midsummer is my next one. I know.
Yeah, you've really been on that.
And I've liked Midsummer. I've been on Midsummer for probably a year, because I was on this hype when I was still living in Georgia, and I thought you were pointing that bottle at me. What?
You will not bring this film up again.
Stop talking about Midsummer. Yeah, I know. Dude, I just wish you would watch it.
I know what I need to know about that film, and I don't feel like making myself feel like that right now.
It doesn't even make... You're going to be transported to another Swedish wonderland, dude.
No, I'm good.
And fine, then I'm going to go on this tangent about Midsummer, and you're just going to have to buckle in.
Yeah, you're allowed to talk about it, obviously. I don't try to convince me.
You might be convinced after this.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. For me, Midsummer, I feel like I've talked about it in the horror podcast, a little bit. So it's just so different and weird and eerie and scary in its own way. And I feel like we're watching it and we're following this girl, the main character, and we're it's we're suffocating with her, and we feel all of her feelings, and she's not super likable, so it's sort of annoying to feel all her feelings, but you're right, they're feeling them with her, and they're all justified because these other characters aren't honestly that likable either. So when these fucked up things start happening to them, it's like, okay, yes, but also, like, you sympathize with her and having this constant loss, and then we see that break in her head. Like, we finally see she's like, her brain can't handle any more of this loss and trauma, and that's when she makes the switch, and I'd say that's the last, like 10 minutes of the movie. For me watching it, I felt she was justified in it. Like, her snap and the ending, like we said before, I don't want to give, like, too much away. I know it's been out for a minute, but still, it's so good. It's just so good.
All right, well, I'm glad that you've had this experience.
I'm hyped on Midsummer.
Well, yeah. Jeremiah Johnson is my next one.
What is that?
It's from like 1970.
Dude, I'm gonna throw it out the window. What the hell?
Hey, for whatever reason important to you right now, it doesn't have to be new. And there's not that many new movies, is there?
Oh, from the 70s, I think there's probably a couple.
No, I'm saying like new movies. I'm saying.
All right, go Jeremiah Johnson.
I don't know. It's this Robert Redford movie about a mountain man in Wyoming. It's just his dealings with, I think, the Blackfoot Indians. I forget which tribe, but it's based off a true story, and about this guy who. He was out there. He's out there living mountain man, and then he married a squaw, a Native American woman, and he adopted a son from like a house out there where that was killed, like people that were slaughtered by some Indians. So like there was a kid left over. So he had like an adopted son and a wife, and some Civil War like troops come through, like Union side. So it's the army comes through, and they're like, "Oh, we need you to guide us through through these mountains. Otherwise, these guys are gonna die, somewhere." Mm-hmm. So he takes them, and against his better judgment, they make him go through a Native American like burial ground. So when he gets back to his house, they had murdered his wife and scalped his kid and stuff. The true story is much darker than the movie. The true story is like when they killed him, she was like pregnant with his baby, and they like cut it open, pulled the
True how? Who verified this?
I don't know. I read it on some like historical thing. I don't know.
I just always like to make sure.
No, actually, I heard there's these history YouTube channels like where historians talk about movies.
Oh, that's cool. That's
so yeah, he had talked about what they really did, and it was a lot more gruesome. So
interesting that they didn't include that in the movie, because I feel like that would only enhance the story.
I don't know. The movie's not directly trying to follow
skew perception or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the movie is telling its own story, but it's not too fixated on trying to, No, I'm fine. It's not too fixated on trying to get all the facts right, because I don't even think they call him like the same name or something.
Okay. So it's just loosely based.
Well, they do call the guy Jeremiah. I think his name was Jeremiah Liver-Eating Johnson. So I think.
Oh wow.
I think it is. Yeah, it's true, but it's not too focused. But I think it's I remember the video essay thing I watched. The guy said it was pretty accurate, except for in the movie it seems like 5 years, where in reality. So after they did that, he went on like a killing spree, and like killed a bunch of the Indians who did it, because it was a certain tribe. Like they only, he didn't get along with one. So he went and like killed a bunch of them, and then it became like like a tribal like ritual or like thing that every year they would just send one after him. Mm-hmm. One like assassin to go kill him, basically. And this went on for 25 years. And he just killed them all.
That's super stressful.
And in their belief or something, I could be getting a lot of this wrong, but like in their belief, that your liver had something to do with your passing to the afterlife. So he would pull out their livers. he would pull out their livers and eat them as like a sign of
he's taking that from them.
Yeah, his own savagery.
What's psycho?
So the movie doesn't show any of that.
I would like to see one that did though, because that sounds crazy.
Yeah, no, a lot of these stories in real life are way cooler than the movies.
Unhinged.
Yeah, so the movie is kind of a summed up version, but it really covers the whole thing, and it's really beautifully done, and it's like one of the, it's a really beautiful movie, and yeah, it's just awesome. So
what's that called?
Jeremiah Johnson. Robert Redford. I have the Blu-ray.
Nice. Blu-ray collector.
What you got next?
I don't know, bro. You talking about all these old movies make me remember old movies.
No, it's whatever's important to you. You wrote down what you have been thinking about.
But I changed one, not to an old movie, but because I remembered a different one that is a perma classic. So I guess I'll talk about that. So I replaced rom-com cuteness. He's just not that into you, because that's one that makes me laugh and is cute and is like sad and funny. But replace that with forever favorite Requiem for a Dream.
Oh yeah, always.
Because,
for you.
Yeah, that's like for sure one of my hands down favorite movies. I could watch that every single day of my life.
I
love that movie.
I would go insane.
I don't know either.
Me studying Apocalypse Now made me go crazy. So yeah, watching that movie every day, I think.
Requiem is edited so cool, and its creepy little theme song. Just like I could hear that song just on its own, and like anyone I know that's like seen it a bunch knows that you know what song I'm talking about, like that eerie shit that just plays every time they start doing something bad. And so I could hear it, and it would give me automatic anxiety. I'm like a Pavlovian dog with the song, and I think that's cool. That the movie was able to do that with just like such a quick piece of audio and build that through the movie. I like that a lot. And I think it's dope how they intertwined these people that are all related but totally different stories, but the same root drug problem, and how they like intertwine and come apart and come back together again. It's just like really sickening, and a lot of it's really very real in how addiction looks, and I think it's just cool and really well done. And Jared Leto's dope. Oh my god, weird thing about Jared Leto that I read and then did further research on. So what I read was like some stupid clickbait shit. It's like, oh, Jared Leto leads a cult. He charges like people like $500 to come watch him like preach a sermon and like stay on this island with him. So I'm like, well, that's sick. I want to go. Like, they were trying to like slander him. I was like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I want to go. And so I started looking into it. It's not even a cult, first of all. So that, I'm already out.
Yeah.
And if it's not a cult, I'm out. And it's like people are paying to basically have like a weekend excursion where Jared Leto wears like a white robe, dressed like hot Jesus, and like talks about his thoughts on the world and like plays 30 Seconds to Mars music.
That guy's sniffing his own farts.
You think that's too much?
Yeah. I mean, I love that guy, but like, oh my god.
Oh wait, it wasn't $500. I think I've said that like 3 or 4 times. No, it was like a ton of thousands and thousands of dollars.
That's insane.
$500 is not the cost.
That's okay.
So I thought that was really funny, and made me kind of question like what's going on with him. But fuck it.
All right.
So yeah, Requiem. What about you? What's next?
Called Runaway Train, starring Eric Roberts and Jon Voight, 1986.
Yes, Runaway Train.
Came from Canon Films, but it's actually one of their only good movies.
Oh no, it's on my list too.
Shut up. It's a super simple thriller action movie about 2 guys that escape prison in like the middle of fucking like buttfuck Colorado or somewhere. Like somewhere it's snowing and they'll die. So they jump on this train, but the like conductor has a heart attack and they it's kind of like an unmanned train, you know. So it's just they have to get to the front, you know, and there's some rail system like they're gonna run into something or something bad's gonna happen. I forget what.
Well, they just jump off the train.
Because it's going like 70 miles an hour or something like that.
Oh shit! The stakes are high, boys. So they have to stop the train.
It's just it's a super simple. Well, also like what the hell? If they jump off, they're just gonna die because it's in the middle of the like a snowy wasteland. They're in like the mountains.
The stakes are even higher than
like they have to stay on the train.
Okay.
So it's really simple and it's cheesy and 80s, but there's some really good acting in it from both Eric Roberts and Jon Voight, which I think he got like nominated for it. So really good movie, simple, fun, and don't really have much more to say about it.
Nice. Runaway Train.
Runaway Train. Oh, I have the Blu-ray.
Do you?
and original poster signed by the director.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
That one didn't even cost me as much as the 9th Configuration one.
Really?
Yeah. So.
You should hang those and frame them.
If I had space, I would.
You should put them all over the ceiling.
Once we have an office,
they'll fill the office.
because I probably have like 100 like original posters, like.
Jesus,
so
that's crazy.
I need somewhere to hang them. I just don't have anywhere.
Yeah, there's nowhere. All right,
What you got?
Next up, I got Her with Scarlett Johansson, Joaquin Phoenix. Just saw that recently, and that movie was fucking crazy. And we didn't see Scarlett Johansson one time in the movie, and I felt like she was there through the entire thing. You've seen it, right?
She's such a good voice actress.
Yeah, like I felt like she was right there, and their chemistry, her and Joaquin Phoenix, was like such a real couple. And I was like on this ride with them, and it was sad and weird, and the parts that they wanted you to cringe at were so fucking cringy. And I love when a movie like really makes me feel so many things so deeply, and that movie like really did that, and it was so aesthetic. Like, so I did some research about like how they made it look like that, because I was like, how do I live in that world? Like, basically, where can I live that is that? What they did was they filmed it all in LA, and then they added it in shots from like Japan and like in Tokyo and stuff, took those buildings, put it in there, and the director specifically wanted to leave like the Japanese text in print on these signs and buildings, because he was saying like that's totally how the future of LA is going to be, and very like fashion district focused and stuff like that, and I could so see it. And I thought it was beautiful, like the story, the look, the acting, like it was so good. I wish I lived in that world. I wish my life was lit like that.
Cool. No, I knew you would like that. Me and Connor. Connor's a big fan of that as well.
He showed me that. Yeah, he showed it to me, and I was crying, dude. I was sobbing, like, and he was thrilled because I was loving the movie. But yeah, that for sure. He showed me that, and another one on my list, actually, the last one. But we'll get to that.
Okay. Hey, a kind of modern one, 2017.
Okay.
Or maybe 18. I don't remember. Wind River.
Ah, yes. What's Wind River?
I thought you might have actually known. Taylor Sheridan. He did. He wrote Sicario, movie about the cartels, and.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he wrote that, and then he did. I think he wrote and directed. Oh no, he just wrote. What's that movie called? Hell or High Water, with Ben Foster and Chris Pine. Really good movie. And so he wrote and directed his own movie, and it's kind of a murder mystery out in Wyoming, of a Native American girl, and Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth, I forget her name. She's one of the Avengers. So they're characters, but it's just, it's a really good drama. It's got a lot. The acting's great, but the characters themselves are just so good. It feels like just a novel you would read, and it's just, it's very beautiful, but at the same time, like, Yeah, it's fucking harsh and real and hard to watch at times, and but it's sad, but like it's so cool. And at the end of the day, like everybody I've shown it to has loved it. Even people that don't like movies like that, you know, like because it's kind of a Western in some ways. But
I can tell you're on a Western kick.
I'm always a big fan of Westerns.
Cowboys.
Yeah, but it's not a Western. But like it's also like death of an era, death of a generation. You know, people like because the Native American themes in it, and so it's just a really beautiful movie, and there's a lot of really good actors in it and performances, and I think it's important. I think you'd dig it.
That's cool. Wind River.
It's on Netflix, maybe.
Oh, okay. I like when they're accessible, because then I feel like people listening could watch, I could watch.
Yeah.
I don't have to go fucking hunt them down.
Or I have to give you a Blu-ray.
Yes. Okay, my last one, also Minnie showed me this one, is, and I know it's been out, but I also just saw it.
I have two more. Oh, I Killed Your Drive. That's what happened.
Oh, yeah.
We knocked two out right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's okay. Last one is World's Greatest Dad, Robin Williams, and, God, I forgot his real name. I know it.
Junior Cortez, yeah.
Spy Kids. And don't let that make you guys think anything silly's going on, because Junior Cortez was fucking hysterical in the driest way. He was awesome in it. And so basically it takes us on the story of Robin Williams as Junior Cortez's dad. Junior Cortez is like such a little prick son of a bitch, dude. He's the worst, but so funny. And there's a portrait of him in the movie, and Minnie and I were playing What Are the Odds, and I lost. And so now I gotta get that portrait tattoo of him, which I'm a little stoked for. It's gonna go right in here. I'm ready. That'll entertain me. And so basically Junior Cortez accidentally kills himself. That's not like a spoiler. That's what drives the plot. He accidentally kills himself masturbating and choking himself with the belt, and he hangs himself. And so Robin Williams, what the rest of the plot is him writing this really beautiful suicide note. Robin Williams is a teacher aspiring to be a writer, and everyone goes crazy and starts doing the pretending they were so close with the guy that died for clout, and being overhyped, which is one of the most hated things. So I really love to see a movie that expose people acting like that, because I think it's so irritating when people do that, and really kind of creepy. But yeah, so we see Robin Williams through this, and he's awesome, and gave a really good, funny, sad, moving performance, as always. Yeah. And it was great. It was funny as fuck in disguise. I was laughing out loud, tears coming out of my eyes. It was very funny, and I loved it.
I have it. I still need to watch it.
Yeah, I think you'll laugh. I think it's, in a really weird way, a feel-good movie. And I know you think it's really sad, and it should be, but it's really not sad. All right, what are your last two?
Blowout.
Okay, we gotta watch that one.
Yeah, John Travolta, directed by Brian De Palma. Good lord. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give too much away about anything because I just want to take you into it. Yeah. And you'll see why I love it.
That's so hard for me to do with movies because I always want to know what's going on. I get anxious that I'm missing something, don't understand when that's the point. And I'm like, what's happening? Like an annoying toddler. Yeah. So
like the dog.
Yeah, Mac. Me and Mac are right here, dude. Same wavelength.
But no, yeah, it's just fucking cool. Yeah. And really good. And ton of style, shot kind of the way I like things to look, and edited super. Brian De Palma's had such a big editing, just the way he directs actually has had a huge influence on me. So, yeah, I think it's really cool. And my last one is my only guilty pleasure on here.
Wild Hogs.
No. I don't like that.
Dickie Roberts, Born to Be a Star. Oh, I just mixed two together. You know what it is. David Spade kid movie. Tell me. That's it.
You talking about Bucky?
No, that's Bucky Larson. I'm talking about David Spade.
Yeah, I don't care about
This is Nothing Futs. That one. That's your last one, right?
No.
Come on, dude. What is it?
God. Yeah, it's Aspen Extreme. Of course.
Of course.
Top Gun, but a ski movie.
Yeah.
And better than Top Gun in a lot of ways. Yeah, just a cool movie about skiing, and it's got...
the 80s?
It's 90s, but very 80s.
Yeah.
And it's just got, an awesome soundtrack, and it's about skiing, and Peter Berg's, like, one of the main characters, and I love Peter Berg. It's such a big deal, in fact, that it's... our movie that we made, Pond's Volition, is just riddled with references to it.
Yeah, bro, that's all you. That's all you in that movie sneaking in. You know I didn't sneak in your ski references.
Yeah,
Fucking
there's
ski god.
There's tons of shit in there, but yeah, really cool movie. Just enjoy it. So
just watch it and absorb it. What's it called?
Aspen Extreme. It's a really good time.
Cool.
And that's it.
We don't know what we're doing next week. Oh wait, yeah, we're gonna try something new. We're gonna put Instagram poll up. For the 2 topics we might do, so we're gonna try to do that. So if you're listening, go vote on the story.
Yeah.
And that'll determine what we do next week.
By the time this comes out, it'll already be done. And then eventually we have to do the 9th configuration and fucking Exorcist 3-1. So with me and Connor. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, another time, another day. Or whatever the saying is. Whatever.
Go look at the Instagram polls. No, they will be able to do it because this is going to be up tonight.
The audio, not the video.
Yeah, the audio.
I'm talking about them. I'm talking about these people.
Video guys, you can't.
Those
Sorry.
guys.
Audio guys on
Paddle up.
Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, you can.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, that's that.
All right.
All right, bye.
Coming to you from dreary Portland, Oregon.
What the fuck?
Shut up, lady. You fucking have the audio.
Your hosts, Caity, Cassidy, and Aaron Bratcher have some hot takes on film, cinema, and the movies. That's all the same thing. It's the Ask Backwards podcast.
You idiot. You moron. You stupid bitch.